this memory of being in this gigantic, like 300 person lecture hall at Louisiana State University in my first class as a freshman. And I remember the professor saying for everybody to pull out their syllabus. And I didn't know what a syllabus was as a first generation college student. And I was too embarrassed to raise my hand, of course, in a big lecture hall. And I didn't really know who to ask either, other than my roommates, which I did ask my roommates. So if I had to say the most impactful mentoring experience has been through the McNair program at WVU. And the McNair program highlights individuals from disadvantaged backgrounds and encourages them to get some one-on-one research experience to open the doors for them to possibly do a research career. So I think I've had 4 students, 3 of whom are Black, 1 Hispanic, and they've gone on to PhD careers. So that has been incredibly fulfilling for me as a first generation college student.
I was very fortunate to have people who would mentor me who were looking out for my best interests and not just the best interests of the department or the school or those sorts of things. So there wasn't, again, there wasn't necessarily a right or wrong answer. They helped guide me to find my right or wrong answer. When I started teaching at the med school, one of the people who really influenced my approach to that and my understanding about teaching med students, which is very different than teaching grad students, was Dr. Cody, Steve Cody, who was teaching. And so he really helped me kind of jump in, get my feet wet a little bit, and slowly he helped me kind of build that confidence and see how to approach the med students when we're teaching them about psychology and human development and those sorts of things. And then stepped back and let me kind of continue my growth there. So, he really introduced me and had that confidence in me and thought that I could do it. And then as he felt like I was able to do it more independently, then he kind of pulled away.
Question. It's good to think about how much pride you take in your work. And I was walking through South Park where I work the other day with my wife, and I remember back in the earlier part of my career, instead of teaching over the summers, I went and worked with a contractor, and we built houses and things in the neighborhood. So we were driving by this house that I put the roof on, and I said, "Oh, that's my roof," and this is 20 years ago. It probably needs a new roof on it. But I think that mentorship, those moments that come along where you really feel good about it, are when your mentees do good stuff. When they get licensed and they get board certified, they get a publication, they land a big grant. Those are all the times where you can sit back and kind of think that, that they really did it.
But I think probably my most impactful mentorship was probably my first. So early career, a new job in an area that, that I felt ill-prepared for, like I guess everybody in their first job feels that way. And I got hired for a job that I thought I wasn't sure I could do. But I got hired by a great guy who was not a psychologist. So I got hired in a pain center. He was an anesthesiologist, but he was clearly my professional mentor. He taught me nothing about psychology, of course, but everything in the world about functioning as a professional in a healthcare setting. And I think when I think about what made him a good mentor for me, I think probably early on that he had a lot more confidence in me than I had in myself, which was important. He trusted me, and he challenged me. So he asked me to do things that I wasn't sure I was able to do, and supported me while doing those things.
Sometimes people decide that they want to do other things. I had a student once who was working me in graduate school, decided instead she wanted to be an actress and pursued that instead of the doctoral degree. And I'm really happy and proud for her, that she found a life passion, whatever that is. And I think that's very important for mentors to be open and not to just assume a singular path. Also to see mentees that, explore passion sometimes in addition to psychology. I'm an avid downhill snow skier, become more avid over the years. And, I've had the privilege of mentoring some students about snow skiing in addition to psychology. And a lot of the same principles apply, and that's just been fun. And you get a lot of mentoring done sitting on the chairlift together, going up to the top of the mountain as you're about to ski down.
Faster. The ones that stick in my mind are the ones that have gone through that process of evolution, where we've been able to move from being a student and a teacher to being maybe mentor and mentee, to then being colleagues, and then really being able to come together with shared passions. Those I consider to be some of the most valuable experiences for me. I hope they were valuable for my mentees, who are now my colleagues in the field. And some of them, in terms of watching them struggle, because psychology is a tough career. I mean, it's tough. We're all very passionate people. We have a tendency to sort of empty ourselves out and then get very cranky about it after we've done it. I think being able to have the privilege of them allowing me to be present for those struggles, of thinking that I had things to offer that were helpful, was a gift. And then being able to sort of see them in those kind of positions where they're literally shaping the field and taking it forward, that's the best thing ever. So those relationships where, working with students, and especially the ones that get here and at some point or another in our building a relationship kind of confide that, I'm an imposter and I'm really not good enough, and someday everybody's going to find out. But as a mentor, no, you're the real deal. You just don't know it yet. You got some rough edges and we're going to sand those out. And the ones that struggle the most, I think a lot of times at the end, they really shine the brightest in your mind, because it's like, wow, see, I knew you could do it. I knew you could. And so it's cool when they finally figure out that I was right.